Alejandro, co-founders of the Light of Beratsana translation group, read an early version of my manuscript and gave me lots of crucial feedback, corrections, and encouragement. Tuku Anam Tupten Rinpoche, from whom I've been fortunate enough to receive teachings, read and gave me helpful comments and great encouragement on my nearly finished manuscript. Also, in the Experts on Tibetan Buddhism camp was Dr. Tashi Chuchi Lodru, Tuku Sangak's brother, who reviewed the manuscript for accuracy. I feel this acknowledgement must include and highlight the masters of the Namchak lineage, our particular branch of the larger Nyingmapa lineage, beginning with Nup Sanjay Yeshe, who hid the teachings, then Tsasum Lingpa, who later revealed those teachings, continuing in an unbroken thread of wisdom, down to the present lineage holder, Tuku Sangak Rinpoche, to whom this book is dedicated. The most recent revealer of the teachings of our lineage was Peja Lingpa, who passed them directly to Tuku Sangak Rinpoche. Without them, I would not have received the gems that I talk about in this book. A lineage of teachings that is revealed and passed down in this way is referred to as a treasure, and that's actually an understatement. I wouldn't want to receive all that Rinpoche and those who came before have offered me and not transmit what I can. Whenever I felt my lack of readiness too keenly, I also had this thought. If I had come upon this book when I was much younger, I know that I would have been delighted to use it as a beginning. If this book turns out to be of benefit to you, then my purpose for writing it will have been fulfilled.
The Dalai Lama. Foreword. As our world becomes ever more connected, the world's great spiritual traditions are able to get to know each other better. This provides their followers opportunities to learn from one another and develop a deeper appreciation and respect for each other's teachings, traditions, and practices. I, for one, have learned a great deal from the insights of spiritual traditions other than my own. I often describe myself as a staunch Buddhist. However, I've never felt the urge to propagate Buddhism with the aim of converting others to my point of view. In general, I believe it's better and safer for most people to stay within the religious tradition of their birth. The world's faiths evolved in specific geographical and cultural circumstances, which gives them an affinity to the spiritual inclinations and needs of specific communities. I am quite open about this, especially when I'm asked to speak about Buddhism in the West, where the main spiritual traditions are historically Judeo-Christian. At the same time, I recognize that especially in today's interconnected world, there will be individuals who find the approach of traditions other than those to which they were born to be more effective and suited to their own spiritual aspirations. I know many people in the West, in both North America and Europe, who engage in serious study and practice of Buddhist teachings. They find the advice for training the mind presented in the Buddhist teachings to be profoundly beneficial and meaningful. Some such Western Buddhists have been steadfast in their commitment to the Buddhist practice for several decades, demonstrating a deep dedication. It is in this context that I'm happy to see the publication of this new book, A Westerner's Introduction and Guide to Tibetan Buddhism. Written by Lama Tsomo, a longtime student and practitioner of Tibetan Buddhism. The book outlines the basic views of the Tibetan tradition and examples of some of its practices for the interested modern reader. I am pleased to note that while the author describes her personal journey into Buddhism in some detail, she continues to honor her traditional Jewish heritage. I have no doubt that Western readers who wish to deepen their understanding of Tibetan Buddhist practices will find much to interest them here, and that members of other faiths, or even those who have none, will enjoy this sincere account of spiritual exploration. June 6, 2014. Gochin Tulku Sangak Rinpoche. Foreword. For the benefit of Westerners who are beginners in the practice of Buddhism, Lama Tsomo has drawn on her own knowledge of Western and Eastern ways of thinking and devoted all her efforts to writing this current work in order to provide a bridge that will forward